Now, as I said at the beginning of the week, I am still on vacation, so this video is actually being recorded on the morning of Sunday, April 23rd. So, if there's any misinformation on the numbers or the progression or where this player is in the postseason, then that's my bad. It hasn't happened yet. This video is going to be uploaded a few days after it's recorded, and Toronto-Tampa is going on right now. It's a pretty heated, intense series, so we'll see what happens then, but either way, in this video, what I wanted to do was go over a player on the Tampa Bay Lightning that apparently, according to some NHL insiders on TVA Sports, has a chance of maybe ending up with the Montreal Canadiens. Now, we've been talking all this talk about one Winnipeg Jet in particular, Pierre-Luc Dubois, how he wants to come to Montreal, how he's a French dude, and how all the stars are aligning for him to eventually become a HAB. But this player is another guy who happens to also be French, but he's not on Winnipeg. He's instead on Tampa Bay, and you already know because of the title and the thumbnail, we are talking today about Alex Killorn. Now, there's an article on TVA Sports that we're going to take a look at, but before we do that, let's just go over the profile, go over some of the numbers here. Alex Killorn is 33 years old, 6'1", 196, is a left-handed left-wing player, signed till the end of this season, making $4.45 million AAV. He's going to need a contract extension after this season, and with the way he played in 22-23, you may think that he's probably not going to retire anytime soon. This season, he put up 64 points in 82 games played, 27 goals, and 37 assists. That's a career year for Killorn. The guy has played his entire NHL career with the Tampa Bay Lightning, but he has never had a season this productive in terms of goals, points, or assists, so he really has gone out there and put himself in the best position to succeed ever since the Lightning gave him that spotlight. In the playoffs, at the time of recording this audio, he's played 3 games and he has 2 assists. Again, these numbers may not be the most accurate when everything is said and done and the video is uploaded, but either way, this is where they are. He also had himself 17 points in 19 playoff games in 2021 when the team won their second of the back-to-back Stanley Cups. Now, it's interesting because he was under a point per game then, but the season after in the playoffs, he only had 4 points in 23 games. It kind of speaks to the depth of the Lightning when a guy like Alex Killorn only has 4 points, but they still make it to the finals for the 3rd time in a row. But Killorn has been a very stable, very solidified hockey player in the Tampa Bay system, and when it comes to the TVA Sports guys, they had themselves this article that I wanted to go out there and read to you from about a week ago at the time of uploading this video. Take a look at this article. It's translated from French into English, and because it is so, I feel comfortable going out there and just reading the Google Translate. But it says here for the Montreal Canadiens, the ideal forward could be available. The Montreal Canadiens have officially been on vacation for a few days now, and GM Kent Hughes must certainly sit down to prepare his strategies for the draft and the opening of the free agent market. According to Tony Marinaro and Jean-Charles Lajoie, Quebec forward Alex Killorn could well be a target of choice for the CEO of the Canadiens. Now, I'm kind of intrigued as to why Google Translate put it like that, but let's just say GM, Kent Hughes. He might be interested in Killorn. This is what the analysis says on the article. Killorn appears to be a priority for Lightning GM Julien Brisebois. However, the latter's mark of maneuver is rather thin, as the Floridian formation fights year after year to respect the salary cap. Yeah, I don't like that sentence at all. The Floridian formation fights year after year. Talk about alliteration there, eh? Google Translate, man, you couldn't have made this any simpler. The 33-year-old Quebecer is finishing the last season of a 7-year, $31.5 million deal with the AAV of 4.45. What will his demands be at the end of the playoffs? Normally, he won't come here at a discount, Lajoie said during the JIC program on TVA Sports on Tuesday, but I think there are good agreements, good relations with Kent Hughes. We'll have to see how it will evolve. We must not overpay Alex Killorn, but here is the kind of deep guy. Now, I don't know what that means. Here's the deep guy. What does that mean? But either way, essentially, Lajoie is going out there and saying that Killorn might indeed be a target because there appear to be some good relationships between Killorn and his party and Kent Hughes, but it would be in the Canadiens' best interest to not overpay for the guy. Killorn still has hockey left in him, but he is on the decline. Really? Is he actually? I mean, that's what Marinaro said. He is not the Alex Killorn of 2 years ago? Okay, but 2 years ago, Killorn had 33 points in 56 games played. This season, he outproduced that. What are you talking about? What do you mean he's on a decline? I don't know what they're referring to. One thing is certain, though, it is very likely that Killorn represents the kind of player that Martin St. Louis will like. Lajoie goes out there and says this: he is exactly the type of smart sandpaper that will appeal to Marty St. Louis and Kent Hughes. We are still in the sector of the West Island, the Lions of Sac St. Louis, and so on. There is something very interesting there. Now, I don't know what that last sentence meant. If anybody who is smarter than me wants to go out there and correct me and let me know what I mispronounced or what it actually means, then hey, feel free to do so. We are still in the sector of the West Island, the Lions of Lac St. Louis, and so on. What does that even mean? But either way, when it comes to Alex Killorn, I disagree with the notion that he is on the decline. He has actually played pretty well the past season, and he had the best statistical point production season of his entire career, so I really do feel it's kind of unfair to say he is on a decline. But either way, should Alex Killorn go from Tampa Bay to Montreal, let's say he signs a contract in free agency, he heads over to the Habs, am I expecting this guy to be able to put up 30 goals and 60 points in 82 games? Probably not. There's a certain amount of team success you have to have around you to enable somebody like Killorn to get these numbers, and unfortunately Montreal just doesn't have it. I'm not doubting that he'll probably be a good addition, and he could have that sandpaper type style to mesh well with a guy like Cole Caulfield on the right, or maybe show Juraj Slafkovsky the ropes as to how to be that power forward type player. But if you're looking for just raw, hard point totals, you're probably not going to get that out of the same magnitude in Killorn, should he be a Canadian next season rather than a Lightning. A Lightning. Really? I just said it like that. It's so weird when you say Tampa Bay Lightning singular because the noun of the team name is already singular. But either way, Killorn heading over to the Canadiens would be a nice fit just stylistically if you wanted to go out there and bolster not only your depth but also your capabilities, your skill sets that you have on those wings, because not too many guys play like Killorn on the Canadiens already. And then, of course, you have the idea that Killorn is from Nova Scotia and he played his junior hockey in Quebec, so there is some sort of a hometown connection there. But of course, this is one of the many guys that happens to be on the French side of things that people are always linking to Montreal. It's been Dubois for years. It's been everybody else. Marty St. Louis, Vincent Lecavalier. Anybody who's got a French name always ends up getting linked to Montreal in some respect. And Killorn, while his name isn't necessarily French, he does have those roots that go all the way back to Quebec in his minor youth hockey days. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the idea of the Canadiens going after Alex Killorn. Should the playoff series between the Lightning and the Leafs be over at this point, then hey, that's my bad that I got all the numbers wrong. If there's anything that stood out to you from these games of Toronto versus Tampa, then hey, let me know in the comments what do you think is noteworthy about this player. What do you think he's done as of late to garner your attention? And if you're a Canadiens fan, what are your thoughts on acquiring him on your team for next season, assuming he is a UFA? What's the price that you go out there and pay for this type of a guy? We know that players that are a little bit on the older side, but who are coming off of pretty good seasons, normally tend to get something that is not laughable. Like, you'll get some good money if you're anywhere over the age of 30 because you provide that veteran presence and you're also able to produce points. So for Alex Killorn, what exactly is that dollar amount? Are you comfortable with anything over 5.5 or 6 million? Maybe 5.25 is your max? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below if you're a Canadiens fan. What are your opinions on Killorn coming over to the Habs? I hope you enjoyed this Juraj 9, and bye.